All right, joining me for the last time this year, we've got DJ Morgan. DJ, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Definitely glad to be back for the last and finale.
I know. It's crazy. What a year it's been, and we'll get to all the ups and downs of this season. But before we get to that, this past weekend had the game against Houston. Any final game thoughts coming out of that game against Houston? I know you guys played pretty well against a tough team in Houston on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. It just showed the fight that this team had all season long, coming in against a top 20, top 25 program. And we showed fight. There was different parts of the game that we could have probably executed better, and possibly pulled out an upset. But when you don't make every play that we should make against a top 25 opponent, it's tough. It's tough to beat that.
Looking back on this year, I know it's been a roller coaster of a year from, just starting off this season, having not played last year, Coach Edsel leaving the program, Coach Spanos taking over, just all the different ups and downs. What has this season been like for you?
It truly has been a roller coaster. Every week, it's kind of like what's gonna happen next. So we just adjusted as a team as each week went on. Different coaching changes. We didn't play last season. Uh, Getting a new head coach not middle of the season, but towards the end of the season with a few games left. So just all the different changes that we had to overcome. Um, we just adjusted.
Yeah, I mean, I just from my standpoint, I feel like it could have been easy to just kind of throw in the towel after that Holy Cross game. Coach Edsel's gone. You had lost to an FCS team. It would have been easy to just quit on the season, but I feel like the team really showed a lot of fight throughout this entire season. Being part of it, what were your thoughts on just how the team handled things this year and being able to kind of stay with it throughout this whole season?
It was definitely impressive as a team, and even being a part of it, to see like how much fight the guys had. Like never, there was never a fight or never a quit in the team. Even going into this last week, you're going into a game. It's gonna be cold. We're playing a top five opponent. We're 1-10. It's like it's easy to just be like, you know what, let's just get this game over with.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. The game is meaningless. But we went out each and every week with a purpose, and our purpose was to try to win every single game that we could. Of course, like we didn't get the results that we necessarily wanted, but definitely it was good to see our team fight to the very end, especially with a lot of young guys playing as well.
From looking back to when you guys kicked off against Fresno, which just feels like so long ago, to kick off against Houston, how would you say the team has grown? Overall, and then from a defensive standpoint, because I feel like that was something coming into this year where the defense had been a little bit of a question mark in the past, and I think the unit really kind of proved itself a bit this year and showing they were able to take some steps up.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a different team. I would say, of course, it's the same players, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a different team from the first kickoff to the very last. Um, I would say that as the season went on, and we're going through all these different adversities and changes, it just grew the team. Like the team grew closer together because we're all in this together and we're all going through the same exact things. So when one person departs, we all notice it. When there's new leadership being put in place. We're all going through new leadership, trying to figure out new roles for the team and how we fit into the new scheme of things. And for defensively, uh, as the season went on, we just started to click. It just started to all click. I think some of it, from the beginning, is getting used to that speed again of playing defense. Defense all reactionary. So when you go a year without playing games and you're going against teams who played the last season, they're already in it. They're already in tune and they're clicking. So it took some games for us to get rolling. But once we got rolling, the defense played pretty well towards the end of the season and middle of the season.
Yeah, in terms of talking about this being a pretty young team in general too, what are your thoughts on this team heading into the future? Are there a couple guys, or anyone in particular you're especially looking forward to seeing what their future holds?
Shoot, yeah, definitely, definitely Keelan Marion. That's one of the guys.
Yeah.
I can't next season. I'm excited to see him prosper, especially with Coach Mora coming in. I definitely think he's going to have a lot of opportunities to have a big year. Dalmont on the defensive line, I can't wait to see him play as well. This is his first year in action, coming off a redshirt season, so I'm excited to see his breakout. Of course, got to see my guy Jackson go out again and put out another 100 tackles. Durante Jones, all those guys. I'm excited to see all of them play next season.
Since Coach Mora, I know he officially took over, I think it was yesterday or Sunday. But what's it been like with him being around the program the past couple of weeks since it was announced that he'd be the new coach?
Nothing really changed quite too bit. It was kind of cool to see like him. He was around practice, but at the same time, he still let Coach Spanos and the coaches that were there, he let them do their thing. And he respected the fact that, he was taking over November 28th, and he waited until November 28th, officially like insert like what he wants in the program. So it was definitely cool to see, because, a lot of times when you're appointed a new leadership role, you want to jump in and play. It could have been easy for him to jump right in, come when he met us at Clemson, just jump right in. I'm the captain, but that just shows like how great of a leader he's going to be for the program. Like he said, he's here to service us and service the players. So I'm looking forward to it.
So has anything changed in terms of like anything really noticeable from say Saturday to today since Coach Mora has become the head coach?
No, not really. A couple of guys that were in the team meeting on Sunday, like the guys that are returning, they were just, it wasn't nothing crazy yet. He said he'll talk to them more once he gets the full staff together. Talk to the guys more about the new direction of which the team is going in.
I know it seems like it's got to just be an interesting time when there's just so much change. Looking back on this season, what are your thoughts? I know we've talked about Coach Spanos a lot on this podcast in the past, being a defensive guy and having worked under him for a little bit. How would you say the job that he did this year was? Because I feel like, again, just as the team didn't quit, the coaching staff didn't seem like quit at all this year either. And it seemed like he was really in it till the end.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, he didn't change when he took over that leadership role as the head coach. And the coaches never change as well. As many coaches, their roles changed as well too. They took on more of a leadership role without having a true, definition of a head coach. We have an interim head coach. Coach Spanos let those guys coach. He let them do their thing. And it showed. Guys were playing more freely. Coaches were coaching more freely, without that true like head coach like watch nature, like the eye in the sky nature. So it was definitely cool to see.
Looking back, having with Houston being your last collegiate game there, what are your thoughts on what it's like to kind of wrap up your college career here, knowing that you played your last college football game?
Man, it's crazy. It's definitely been a ride. 6 years in college football, 3 here and 3 at Notre Dame. And it's been a blessing, to say the least. I wouldn't trade it in for anything. And definitely no regrets with anything that I've decided as far as with my college football career. And playing in the last game, I can definitely say that I left everything out on the field. So there's definitely no regrets as far as I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have, or there's no regrets because I knew I left it all out there.
I'll wrap with this one. So we got to end on a positive note. I got to hear favorite memory or what of having been at UConn the past couple of years.
Favorite, I would say favorite memory. I guess I would have to say my favorite memory. 2 of my favorite memories both come from the Illinois game at the Rent. Tyler Coyle's pick six, first. That was just that's how you open up a game. Very first drive against a Big Ten opponent. And then I gotta say my second one just has to be my strip sack. That was a cool play, and just to hear the Rent, even though it wasn't a sellout, it felt like a sellout in that moment. And just having that place rocking and giving the fans, a lot to cheer about.
Awesome. Well, DJ, I know you've been a favorite of UConn fans since you've been here. Best of luck to you in all that you're doing in the future, and really appreciate you taking out some time this year to join us on the podcast. I think it was really cool to get some insight into the program, especially this year of any year. So,
Hey, thank you.
so DJ, really appreciate the time and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.